So second game between Joe and SoloTürk is gonna be played on Watering Hole. We have already seen quite an interesting game on this map today. The gods are gonna be Set versus Loki. So Joe, it should be actually SoloTürk's map. Who am I having as a home team here? Let's quickly check. Joe. So the first map should have been Joe's, the Midgar. Right now SoloTürk should be picking this one as a Loki. So let's see. He's probably gonna be attempting to be quite aggressive. Let's see how it's gonna be working for him, because of course taking Watering Hole against an Egyptian is always kinda tricky. Especially if the map spawns in a way that he can easily wall up, and he, for example, does have like some kind of huge gold mine inside his base. But so far we don't really see that. It's gonna be, of course, a vision into the middle of the map. Plenty of golds, plenty of hippos and lions and everything else. Yep, that's everything. Oh, that's a lot of lions, really. Absolutely everywhere. And they're gonna be having quite juicy hunting grounds in the middle. But of course, so is gonna be this priest who is gonna be converting all of them. Maybe even a few of those water buffaloes. But of course, also the hippos. But yeah, it kinda depends, because of course those are gonna be taking quite a bit of time to convert all of them. Otherwise, this TC definitely seems like Joe's. That is kinda normal position, not really anything all that bad. He's right now already discovering the second TC behind his base. That is gonna be helpful. Or any kind of like, well, 2TC heroic is not gonna be on the menu, because we are on hybrid with the vanilla rules, so no TC in the classical age. So that should be standard fast heroic at 715, something like that, and then potentially going for the TC after that. Let's see. That's gonna be the game plan for I am Joe. Let's switch into SoloTürk and his point of view, who is having the gold kinda occasionally positioned in here. It's not gonna be that much of a problem. The tower is present, though it's not gonna be really upgraded either. So if he cannot wall properly, though, this is kinda nice. Is this like going all the way? Yes, it is. It's gonna be actually kinda nice protection. He needs to wall just in the middle here and there. So this is very nice defensive map for him if he wants to play like that. Though as a Loki, he will want to be aggressive, but it will at least help him defend against the potential of Chariot Archery, and that is kinda inevitable, to be honest. For Joe, the map is not as easily wallable, so that is something going for SoloTürk, as he will have to wall about here to the straggler, I imagine, from the straggler to the house and there. Not gonna be that easy. And then top side here, there, or maybe here. Kinda depends, but yeah, this is one of the spawns that is not as easy to wall for him. And if it was the opposite way, that Joe was basically on the left side, then he would be having the really very nice map with this easy walling. But right now it's gonna be up to SoloTürk, so let's see what he's gonna be using and how he's gonna be playing this encounter. Otherwise, looking at the golds, there's gonna be one extra save gold for Joe right behind his base. That's absolutely glorious. Exactly what he needs. Another gold right next to the TC, so he basically has all he needs. Another entirely save gold on entirely opposite way, or other side of the map. So not entirely great, but could be a backup gold quite easily. And of course, with how the map actually spawned, it can be potentially dangerous if maybe one of the players, especially if SoloTürk, did have an idea of putting a dog there. And like, for example, trying to transport himself all the way here or something along those lines. Trying to be abusing basically the water here. This is something that you can definitely do. But it doesn't happen all that often. But sometimes you see it, especially in Titans. It is not impossible to do. Okay, so here this dock, or rather this TC, if docks were somewhere close by, and even if they weren't, I don't think this is actually gonna be in range of some siege bows from about here. Or here, maybe from here. They will be ending like this spot. It's on the fence. It's literally on the fence if it's actually in the range of the water, I'm thinking. Definitely close, but the other TCs are not, so they are gonna be all of them safe. Another gold mine and another gold mine. Quite nice gold mines also for SoloTürk. So this is really quite a nice map for him. Quite defensive one. You can see the position of the second TC is also pretty sweet. But the front TC is really difficult, as probably this one could be considered SoloTürk's. And that is not nice. Like really not. It's really far away. Doesn't really give any kind of map control. It's really kind of useless. He may be tempted to actually go for TC of Joe in the front. Because if he did and was able to capture it, then he could be basically swatting 2 flies at one attempt. So it wouldn't be really that bad. That'll be quite nice indeed. But this one, yeah, that's kind of sad TC to be had on this map for either player. But anyway, SoloTürk is right now gonna be apparently maybe even losing to Ulfsar, because the lion is apparently after some human meat. Quite interested in that, or maybe he's smelling something. Oh well, another lion right there. Or maybe he's smelling something on the skin or on the hide. Yeah, the lions are actually slightly faster, so they can be really quite annoying. You can see right now SoloTürk is trying to wall it up here. Oh, this is a bit shorter, but the logic there I can see it, because he's gonna be like luring the enemy right next to the tower and whatever. That's something that you can also think about and should be thinking about, is that you can lure your opponent into some kind of bad battlefield. And if you have the option for that, you should be attempting to take it, of course. Anyway, still plenty of lions to be converted for Joe in the meantime. He's really getting quite a nice zoo right there. He is walling exactly where we expected, and then he's gonna be apparently not continuing here that much. Seems to be much more interested in basically going like halfway over the wall here, and then luring all the enemy basically into their deaths between all the towers and the TCs. Is a valid strategy as well. Oh well, or not. Also or not. Is he going like solid classical fight? Really? Like, what is he right now gonna be doing? Well, as I said, he definitely could be doing classical fight, because Seth is the best god for that. So let us watch this. This is potentially quite interesting. What's gonna happen here? This is promising. And is there gonna be some shifting and shenanigans? It almost seems like that he was already heading there with the lions, as already towers are in. And there we go. Wow, he did steal quite a solid. So he stole 2 villagers, 2 dwarfies, 1 ox cart, and 2 units in here. So towers, actually, come on, steal everything. But this is very well played right now by SoloTürk. I don't know if he's actually doing it on purpose. But being annoying right now with the piggies, he can actually right now survive here exactly in the corner. That's exactly what I was thinking about, and he's doing it. He can like run away. He can mine the gold with the dwarfy. One was unfortunately lost to all of this. But he's also having units in here. And that means he can even like side build. So if Joe is not careful, doesn't deal with that, and forgets about it maybe, then he could be in for a bit of a surprise quite a bit later. Right now he's looking around, unfortunately discovering that no, you cannot pass here. So Joe is paying attention. But maybe it would be worthwhile to actually build something on the side. Just try to be as annoying as possible to his opponent, to make it backfire to him. Why not? Interesting idea, but anyway, you can see that Joe was already coming forward, trying to break through the walls, unfortunately for him unsuccessfully, as SoloTürk was exactly on the spot with plenty of army. But right now, yeah, they're gonna be getting through anyway, it seems like, as he definitely needs right now the longhouse as soon as possible. He's having only 2. It's actually quite a solid number at this point in the game, with the temple on top of that being Loki. So what is he gonna be like producing? As Joe just finished with the armory, so maybe a heroic age is not that impossible for him. What he though needs are definitely houses, as he does have solid army. Right at the last moment he's gonna be repairing the walls as well, as he is right now auto-queuing all the heresies, and he should be auto-queuing also a few throwing axemen, because he needs to get rid of the Egyptian axemen in there. They are gonna be an increasing problem, especially if they, for example, get some upgrade from Joe, which doesn't seem to be really happening just now. So yeah, a few more houses are definitely gonna be needed as the heresies are coming forward, but so far no mythical spawns, and that could be also because he is constantly housed. That is most probably gonna be the reason. So Piggy is hidden in the background, as all of this has been already destroyed by Joe, as the army is trying to catch up with the lone Ulsak somewhere, and the heresier that already died, but otherwise the army is coming already forward for him. So Joe is basically turning the game on its head. I was expecting that SoloTürk will be the one who will be aggressive, who will be trying to basically rush his opponent, but it's anything but. And of course that is also partly because of the shift incense. They really do screw you over, but still, he definitely should be a whole lot more active. And so far he's leading, or leaving everything up to Joe. But Joe, having the spy on the Pharaoh, well, that's one hell of a high-profile spy right there. He's gonna be knowing exactly SoloTürk, what his opponent is doing, where he is, and that is actually quite worthwhile. Though right about now, I was for a moment thinking that maybe Joe could be sending him to Empower, but he really doesn't want to do that. And the reason being, because he's against Loki, so he can expect mythical units being spawned, of course, from the Lokis, from the Loki Heresiers. little Lokis in here. He still needs a lot more houses and of course to produce a lot more army. Yeah, he right now, yeah, that reminds me. And he was even the auto queue again in there. He are on hybrid, so he shouldn't have had that. But still, he's right now will turn it off. So he apparently noticed, or his opponent noticed and told him, so it's gonna be fine. It seems like for the time being. Yep, you can see that right now Joe is switching into Heroic Age. Into Heroic Age, you're gonna be getting the TC in the front. That's gonna be a very important one for him, of course, at this stage, as he is producing as many villages as he can from this one TC, but from the second TC, it's gonna be, of course, a whole lot more helpful to grow his economy, and then he's not gonna be able to drop a Migdol, it seems like. Oh, well, right now this is gonna be looking at Ancestors, probably. Even though Ancestors would be killed by, of course, all the Heresirs in there, it's not really such a bad idea, because they would be just bodies to kill. And that means they would still dish some damage, and with the support army in here, it would still be very much worthwhile. But apparently Joe is gonna be able to deal with the nuisance just with the normal army. But yeah, well, it now finished, exactly, so he gauged it properly, and he's gonna be coming somewhere to the back. Have a look, if maybe he can kill something here. He can apparently kill the villager. But Joe does have enough gold right now, and he is investing into soldiers. I was thinking that maybe he could be investing into Migdol. Oh yeah, he is. Okay, he is. Alright, it's costing 300 here.
In wedge.
So as the reason. So of course, he is actually... he is going with the water. Yes. So he's the one who is gonna be using it, so that's very nice to see. Apparently SoloTürk is gonna be heavily surprised, because of course he thinks that this wall is quite enough. But yep, it's not gonna be, as Joe has finished with pretty much all the walling, and this means that all the units from SoloTürk are gonna be basically killed one by one. What is this relic? Better human soldier pierce armor. That is actually quite nice, and would be very helpful, especially for SoloTürk. Not so much for Joe, because of course he's not gonna be facing units with pierce damage all that much, unless Mythic Lich is gonna be coming with Ballistae. But otherwise, yeah, nothing. Just only towers, and Downsiders are dealing pierce damage, of course, to the units. So those are still apparently alive here. He maybe killed... He actually killed a villager here, it seems like. Well, look at him, murderer. Right there. As the piggies are still at the back, and Heroic Age from SoloTürk is coming forward as well. So that is probably gonna be resulting into the TC. Yes, it is. Can't see right now exactly heading for that, but unfortunately he doesn't have all that much of a claim on the front TC at all at this point, as the middle is fully controlled at this point by SoloTürk, or not controlled by SoloTürk, controlled by Joe, and right now he is gonna be heading into a disaster. Oh well, 8 villagers completely slaughtered, unless SoloTürk changes at least like all of them into Ulfsarks. Right now with all the army it wouldn't even be worthwhile. Yeah, they're just gonna die, all of them. There's absolutely no way that even single one of those is gonna be surviving at this point. That is actually a pretty huge blow for SoloTürk. Let's switch into his point of view. You can see that his food economy is not exactly huge. And apparently Joe, come on, you could have done a whole lot better job of blocking them. Blocking their path by the units, but well, he didn't, which means that few of those are actually gonna be escaping, because they are 418 speed. Axemen are 430, and those dudes are only 360, so the priest definitely cannot catch up with them, as the army is already coming forward, and that would be a pretty good idea right now to come with the army to the middle, to basically try and somehow disrupt him or something along those lines. But unfortunately, SoloTürk is pretty much right now ready for that. So the opportunity is gone, and I was just maybe a bit more thinking about the missing siege works. Yeah, we are completely missing siege works for Joe. Absolutely nowhere here. So that is the problem, and what was also stopping any kind of attempt like that, because without the siege it wouldn't be that effective. We would maybe do some damage and like force the opponent maybe into some kind of mistake, but without really the siege, he wasn't much of a threat, for example, to this town center in here. So, Mythic Age doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon for the red player. Right now, Husbandry coming forward. And it's gonna be Hendux and Pickaxe. That's kinda solid at this stage, though could be thinking about the other upgrades as well already. Let's see, maybe he is. Maybe he is, and is gonna be having it a bit later. As Joe is not coming into Mythic Age yet, as he's heavily unhoused. He's having also only the base upgrades in there. But, well, he is already gonna be prepared. I think... quite soon, though, he should be really hurrying up, because he does have the army, and the sieges are absolutely definitely missing, because at this point, Because at this point, with this army, he cannot really do much. He cannot do much, especially considering that SoloTürk could be like producing mythical units out of his arse pretty easily. If he gets lucky with the spawns, as right now he is gonna be raiding his opponent. And I'm also looking at this clever little wall. It's basically keeping Joe's villagers completely out. As this one lone wolf Sark that survived here from the shift in sands all the way at the start of the game, at about minute 4 or 5. He is right now building a bit of a side build and preparing to maybe disrupt the trade that is right now attempted by Joe. Joe so far doesn't know that the wall is there, so that might be a bit of a surprise for him. As of course, SoloTürk is continuing with a bit of a raiding, attempting to maybe, I don't know, force his opponent into some kind of mistake, though at this point it's gonna be really kind of hard to see, because Joe is having tons of gold, not really in the middle, but this one behind his base, he really doesn't have to move anywhere. It's absolutely safe. Absolutely and completely safe. But right now he's gonna be out of position. Oh, this is well played by SoloTürk, not well played by Joe. He's gonna be really heavily surprised. But what I would be liking this and forward and go for the TC. This was definitely a pretty good opportunity for SoloTürk. Fortunately, he's not gonna be taking it at all. He's right now gonna be starting with the market and the trade, which, oh well, he's gonna be eating his own medicine. And tasting his own medicine, because this is gonna be coming with siege works and barracks, and even though it's gonna be scouted by SoloTürk quite well and probably destroyed, he will have to deal with the wall before, of course, and those ox caravans will be able to move past. Okay, so 45 DC coming for Joe. That is, of course, effectively putting a stop to any kind of attack by SoloTürk. You can see that he lost plenty of units to just trying to attack the TC in there, as the TC at the bottom has been also finished, and Joe is definitely on his way to completely controlling the middle, as even though he is gonna be having a bit of a problem with the gold here, it's not gonna be anything major, and like, siege works finally up, as he was even coming forward with some siege towers, and here we go with the flaming weapons. Does he have enough army though? I kind of think these are more or less desperation flaming weapons. Because he does have some kind of army, he's gonna be getting the free piggy. That's a very good spawn. Very good spawn at this stage, but he needs to be right now quite careful. As of course Joe is gonna be casting the ancestors coming into the battle right here. And of course with all the army that he's still having, he is quite probably gonna be able to deal with all of this. It's gonna be depending all about and all on those mythical spawns, but with the heresies dying in pretty big numbers and not being replaced at all, this seems like a slaughterhouse, especially with the fire from both the Migdol and from the TC, and with the mercenaries making an appearance just to basically nail the point home. This is not a good spot for SoloTürk to fight at all, so unfortunately flaming weapons are gonna be fizzling out, pretty much fizzling out, as Joe here to use the ancestors, that at least a bit of an achievement for SoloTürk. But looking at the economy of SoloTürk right now, having problems with the food, he cannot advance into the mythical age, and he will have to switch into farms sometime soon, at this point pretty much, and he doesn't have the upgrades for that yet. So like, this is gonna be pretty costly and pretty difficult switch in his economy, and probably the opportunity for Joe to punish him for that he didn't really switch a bit earlier. Yeah, right now, especially with Joe advancing through Horus into the mythical age, that is gonna be even more difficult, of course, for the blue or rather for the red player to deal with, because right now he can produce all the extra army. You can see he's still having 10 population limit extra, so he can produce even a few more priests or whatever he wants from wherever he wants, and with the sheer number of units that he's having, he doesn't even need apparently the upgrades for any of these units. You can see his opponent is having at least copper shields in there, as he is winning just on sheer numbers, and those priests with, of course, the funeral rites on them, they are absolutely slaughtering all the mythical units that are even being still spawned for the opponent. Right now the Frost Giant and the Valkyrie also came out, but they are gonna be dying quite soon with the homing missiles from, of course, the priests, because they never miss against the mythical units. Alright, so is there gonna be some healing? The Valkyrie is completely dead. The Valkyrie can heal a bit, nothing too major. But right now we are heading into the situation where, of course, Joe is gonna be fighting 4 TCs versus 2, and that is getting, with especially Tornado in there, really kinda hard to see how SoloTürk could be fighting against that. He's right now basically, this is pretty much the last stand. It's pretty much the last stand at this point for him. As apparently the side build, there are a few heresies coming forward, but he needs to be careful, because of course the very fighting can be basically really do it. Right now this transport is pretty much to save the villagers. Yes, it is. That's very well played. He's gonna be sending them, I don't know, maybe somewhere here. Who kinda knows? as there was a build to prevent any further walling. As here we go, yep, this is exactly well played. I was thinking this is a much better position for the tornado than the TC, because of the houses especially. It deleted 3 houses, so basically insta house SoloTürk. You can see right now it's 110, so that's like 70 less, yeah, that's 70 less than Joe. And he also destroyed quite a few military buildings, temple and 1 and 2 barracks right there. So right now basically SoloTürk is with 1 barracks here. And literally just at the top side, as he is right now pretty much overwhelmed, and another wrong house at the bottom. So yeah, he's right now gonna be completely incapable of replacing the units in here, and Joe is just basically coming forward to claim the TC and basically claim the victory as well. Yeah, pretty much. That was the game deciding moment right there, or game deciding. Game clinching. Game deciding was a whole lot before, especially with this TC getting captured and establishing the Migdol right next to this TC. That was probably the game deciding moment. SoloTürk unfortunately wasn't able to overcome that, but Joe played quite competently, and he is gonna be claiming the second game and leading in the match 2-0. Let's look into the post game then. SoloTürk winning economy, curiously enough. That's maybe something I wouldn't have expected that much. Wood, gold. Otherwise, the economies are solidly same. Not much difference, really. But yeah, well, you can see the efficiency here. But the efficiency, it's basically because Joe was fighting with hugely bigger numbers. And it's basically because of the ending part of the game, where Joe was fighting with like 4 TCs versus 2. So he was much more efficient in the destruction of his opponent. And SoloTürk just wasn't able to get any kind of good fights. That's a basic explanation for all of this. Research count not that different. But yeah, of course, the mythical age with the better economy, that was just kinda inevitable. Yeah, he lost villages there, you can see. Joe, that was the attack with the ancestors and with the flaming weapons there. Yeah, that was the attack on the gold mine. Right here. Here. Yeah, Joe wasn't running with the villagers and he lost plenty in there. The military units, yeah, he was having advantage the whole game. Though at the start, it's not necessarily that much of an advantage because, of course, those units from Egyptians are quite squishy. And if the Hersirs can produce some good mythical units, it can overturn the battle very easily. But then here, it just was resulted into what we have seen. But otherwise, the economy is kind of similar. Not really that much different. GG.